Throughout the 19th and first half of the 20th century, steam power was the king of transportation. It's no wonder then that engineers explored ways of making the steam engine both smaller and more powerful. It's the work of these early pioneers that led directly to the development of the automobile as we know it today. Hello, this is Russell, and welcome to Anything History. The story of the automobile reaches back to the late 17th century, when inventors first began experimenting with steam-powered motion. As early as 1672, Ferdinand Verbiest designed a steam trolley. It was little more than a toy, but many consider it to be the first actual car. By 1769, Nicolas Canoe built his first steam cart. Canoe's steam cart was the first to be built and then demonstrated as a very early steam-powered vehicle. In 1784, William Murdoch assembled his steam carriage and in 1786 demonstrated a working model of it. Even though not ultimately successful, it was these early inventions that laid the foundation for the development of the automobile. However, one inventor set the stage for the rest by focusing on high-pressure steam engines that would transform the 19th and 20th centuries, when English inventor Richard Trevithick set out to revolutionize transportation. On Christmas Eve 1801, the residents of a small mining village in Cornwall, England, witnessed an extraordinary sight: a mysterious vehicle shrouded in clouds of steam, making its way up a small hill. Trevithick's mysterious vehicle gained the nickname the Puffing Devil. It was, in fact, a steam-driven carriage which could be argued was the first automobile. This test run of the Puffing Devil was on cobblestone streets without railroad tracks, and it only climbed a small hill slightly faster than walking speed. Despite this, what makes it more impressive was that his Puffing Devil had 6 passengers on its inaugural voyage. The real innovation behind the Puffing Devil was its high-pressure steam engine that was mounted on a custom-made chassis. Sadly, the revolutionary vehicle was destroyed when an inattentive driver allowed the engine to overheat and catch fire. Undaunted, some 2 years later, Trevithick took the experience he learned with the Puffing Devil and significantly improved the technology. He named his next invention the London steam carriage. It was a second, grander attempt at building a viable steam vehicle. Unlike the Puffing Devil, this one was significantly bigger. Its 8-foot wheels were designed to smooth out the rough surfaces that could be found around London at the time. In its first demonstration, the London steam carriage moved from London to Paddington between 4 and 9 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the carriage was difficult to control, and the drivers had a great deal of trouble navigating the streets of the old city. Regrettably, there was little interest in a mammoth horseless carriage. Unfortunately, the London steam carriage was too far ahead of its time. The fate of the carriage was sealed after investment money dried up. The engineering of Richard Trevithick stands out among these early inventors. This was in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. Given the limitations of the time, it is impressive that Trevithick was able to successfully build and drive both vehicles on the road. To put Trevithick's carriages in historical perspective, in 1806, Thomas Jefferson had just been elected the President of the United States. In Europe, they were still fighting Napoleon, and over 200 years ago, Richard Trevithick was driving a primitive automobile through the streets of London. After the failure of the London steam carriage, most of the 19th century development of off-rail steam-powered vehicles was limited to agricultural or military operations, and lack of practical roads or safety limited its practical use. Despite setbacks, engineers remained committed to developing steam-powered road vehicles, and the idea of steam coaches slowly began to catch on with the general public. In 1869, English inventor John Knight worked on a steam carriage capable of carrying 3 passengers with a top speed of 8 miles per hour. In 1859, English inventor Thomas Rickett made significant advancements in developing a steam-powered automobile. His 3-wheeled steam carriage, driven by a chain mechanism, could reach speeds up to 19 miles per hour and was demonstrated to the royal family at Windsor Castle in 1860. And in 1863, Boston inventor Sylvester Roper pioneered a steam buggy and the amazing Velocipede, a 2-wheeled early motorcycle driven by steam. Development continued, and by 1880, dozens of engineers and manufacturers working to refine steam-driven cars laid the foundation for modern automobiles. These included Boulay, de Dion Bouton, Olds, and Peugeot. In 1897, the Stanley brothers took their steam-driven automobile to the mainstream market by focusing on quality engineering. They sold over 200 cars between 1898 and 1899. In 1902, they took their experience and formed the Stanley Motors Carriage Company, bringing steam-powered automobiles to the American marketplace. It's estimated that around 14,000 Stanley cars were sold in America by the time production stopped in 1924. The Stanley brothers rode a wave of popularity for steam-powered vehicles. It was during this time that the popularity of steam-powered vehicles was at an all-time high. It was here at the beginning of the 20th century that there were more than 125 manufacturers of steam-driven cars in the United States. Now, for me, this is an incredible story. A little over 100 years after Trevithick's steam carriage took to the streets of London, a daredevil racer would push automotive steam power to its limits in a vehicle aptly named the Rocket. In 1906, Fred Marriott raced across the sandy track along Ormond Beach in Florida in a hand-built automobile to break the world speed record. What made his attempt so special was that Marriott was in a steam-driven automobile. In his first attempt on a 5-mile open track, he became the first man to travel 2 miles in less than a minute, reaching 121.6 miles per hour. On his second attempt, he reached 127 miles per hour, securing the land speed record until 1910. Marriott's hand-built car was based around a modified Stanley steam engine. The Rocket used a 2-cylinder steam engine that produced 150 horsepower and was driven on 34-inch tires. Its aerodynamic chassis, shaped like an upside-down boat, and powerful engines allowed it to breach the 120-mile-per-hour barrier. It gained the nickname the world's fastest canoe. On his third attempt to best his time, Marriott pushed the Rocket beyond its limits, hitting a dip in the sandy track. The Rocket flipped at a speed estimated to exceed 130 miles per hour. Marriott recovered but gave up on breaking his record. On a side note, Marriott's land speed record in a steam-powered vehicle held until 2009, when a British team recorded an average speed of 139 miles per hour. In many ways, the Rocket represented the pinnacle of steam-driven automotive power. Steam-driven automobiles would continue to sell until the 1920s, when gasoline-powered automobiles, like the Ford Model T, became too economical and efficient to compete with. The steam carriage era was a remarkable time during the Industrial Revolution, when cottage inventors working out of small machine shops could steadily improve upon existing technologies and revolutionize automotive design. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out.